General Hospital spoilers for Monday, July 13th. Picture this. Elizabeth Baldwin unexpectedly showing up at Willow Kane's house. It sounds completely normal, right? But wait, it gets worse. Because standing right there in Willow's living room are Nina Reeves and Jack Brennan. Yes, the same Jack Brennan who is supposed to be recovering from a massive health crisis at Turning Woods. The air in that room instantly turns to lead. You could cut the tension with a knife. Elizabeth doesn't just say hello. She drops an absolute bomb. She looks right at them and casually mentions that she suspects a direct connection between what happened to Drew Kane and whatever Jack Brennan is secretly up to. And that changes everything. Just one single sentence from Liz, and the entire room freezes. Willow's heart is probably pounding out of her chest. Nina is instantly on high alert. This wasn't just a friendly neighborhood visit anymore. This was a terrifying interrogation. If Elizabeth pulls this thread, the entire blackmail scheme against Drew Kane completely unravels. Willow is already drowning in legal trouble, and now she has Elizabeth Baldwin poking around her darkest secrets. But that's not even the biggest surprise. Here's where things get messy. Let's talk about Harrison Chase. For weeks, the guy has been completely blind to what his own wife is doing. But after a very revealing conversation with Lucy Coe, the puzzle pieces finally slam together. Chase is looking at Brooklyn Quartermain, and for the first time, he is seeing the truth. He realizes Brooklyn orchestrated this entire hit-and-run framing plot. He goes straight to her, and the massive question hangs in the air. Did she really frame Willow Kane? Guys, this is where it gets interesting. Brooklyn is backed into a corner. She has to admit to the framing, right? But the terrifying reality is that Brooklyn might not confess to the whole truth. She might admit to setting up the fake GPS evidence with Lucy and Brick, but she is desperately going to hide the most damning fact of all. She is the one who actually fled the scene of Jordan Ashford's accident. If you ask me, Brooklyn is going to double down on her lies. She is going to try to save her marriage by giving Chase a half-truth. What happened next may be even worse. By hiding her actual involvement in the hit and run, Brooklyn is setting a ticking time bomb right in the middle of her marriage. Chase thinks he is finally getting the truth, but he is actually being manipulated all over again. And when that final secret blows up, it is going to take down everything Brooklyn holds dear. And then everything spiraled. Because while Willow and Brooklyn are fighting for their lives, a completely different nightmare is unfolding with Anna Devane and Liesl Obrecht. Liesl shows up at Anna's door, desperate and begging for help. She wants Anna to clear Cassius Phaeton's name. She wants the world to know that Cassius wasn't the mastermind. But Anna is not having it. Anna is cold, traumatized, and absolutely refusing to just open her heart. She demands hard proof. If Liesl wants her to believe that Cassius wasn't the villain pulling the strings, she needs to show the receipts. But wait, the truth is even darker. We all know that Ross Cullum was the real puppet master. Cullum was the one pulling the strings on the massive cold fusion project with Jens Sidwell. Cassius Phaeton was nothing more than a convenient name dragged into the mud to shield the real players. And now, Cullum is dead. Cassius has been secretly relocated by WSB head Z, and a massive rumor has been planted that Cassius is dead too. That leaves only one person exposed. Jens Sidwell. Sidwell is the only one left standing in the public eye. If the authorities or the WSB corner Sidwell and start interrogating him about the Cold Fusion project, he is going to face the most extreme danger of his life. He is the ultimate loose end, and loose ends in Port Charles usually end up in body bags. Guys, just when you think you have a handle on the situation, Valentine Cassadine steps out of the shadows to make everything more complicated. Valentine might actually show up at Anna's door right in the middle of this crisis. And this isn't just a sweet reunion between ex-lovers. Valentine is there on a mission. He needs to reassure Anna that Cesar Phaeton is truly dead. He needs to validate her reality and tell her exactly how Ross Cullum manipulated her mind. Valentine wants to be the anchor that pulls Anna back to sanity. But that wasn't the real problem. Because Anna DeBonnet is not fighting a physical enemy right now. She is fighting a ghost. The hallucinations of Peter August are still haunting her every single waking moment. Peter's ghost is like a cold, toxic smoke wrapping around her brain. She doesn't know if she is fighting the past or being swallowed whole by it. Here is the sinister twist. What if Peter's ghost starts actively controlling her mind? What if these terrifying hallucinations push Anna to target the people trying to help her? I am talking about Anna completely losing her grip and turning her weapons on Valentine. Or worse, her best friend Felicia Scorpio. Anna is a highly trained, lethal agent, and a hallucinating Anna is the most dangerous weapon in Port Charles right now. Meanwhile, across town, an absolute inferno is about to ignite between Carly Spencer and Lulu Spencer. If you ask me, this confrontation is going to be the most explosive moment of the entire week. Lulu is furious. She is vibrating with maternal rage. She corners Carly and demands to know how Carly could possibly hide Valentine Cassadine in her house. How could Carly sneak Charlotte Cassadine in to see her fugitive father right behind Lulu's back? But Carly isn't going to just stand there and take it. Carly is backed against a wall, and she is forced to spit out the hardest truth of all. She looks Lulu dead in the eye and admits that this didn't start as a love story. It started as a desperate plot to get revenge on Jack Brennan. But as they worked together, as they fought against these massive global threats, something shifted. Carly didn't just hide a fugitive. She fell in love with him, and that changes everything. Carly isn't just defending a criminal. She is defending her heart. Lulu is going to lose her mind when she realizes that Carly and Valentine's secret alliance blossomed into a full-blown romance. The betrayal Lulu feels is going to shatter whatever fragile peace existed between these two women. But wait, let's pivot to Jocelyn Jacks, because she is stepping into a very dangerous gray area. Jocelyn is sitting in her hospital bed, recovering from a gunshot wound, but she is not acting like a victim. She receives a surprise visitor, Valentine Cassadine. He shows up to personally thank her for the secret deal she made with Z. Because of Jocelyn, Valentine and Jason Morgan are walking free. Guys, this is where it gets interesting. Jocelyn doesn't just accept the thanks. She uses the moment to ask for a favor. Jocelyn is no longer just a pawn getting dragged into these WSB nightmares. She is actively pulling the strings. She is becoming a major player, a crucial knot in this tangled web who has the power to unleash or lock away massive consequences. Carly wants her out of the WSB, but Jocelyn is leaning all the way in. And speaking of massive consequences, we absolutely cannot ignore Britt Westbourne. Britt is sitting in a jail cell, facing terrifying legal charges, and reeling from the news that her Huntington's disease diagnosis was a complete lie orchestrated by Cullum and Sidwell. But that is not the shock that is going to break her. The real shock is Jason Morgan. Jason has been cleared. Jason is coming back to Port Charles. For Britt, this news is like a massive earthquake. Everything around her is shifting at lightning speed. In General Hospital, Jason's return is never just a standalone event. It is a massive flare gun signaling that every buried secret is about to be dragged into the blinding light. People who thought they were safe are about to have their entire lives ripped apart. Britt has to look at her future and realize that the game has completely changed. But that's not even the biggest surprise. Let's talk about Ava, Jerome, and Ethan Lovett. Ava is like a dog with a bone, and she is not letting go of this Phoebe paternity mystery. She corners Ethan, fiercely interrogating him. She brings up the exact moment at the gallery when Ethan took a bullet for her. While he was bleeding out, Ethan explicitly denied that Phoebe was his biological daughter. Here is where the psychology gets dark. Ava is looking at Ethan, and she realizes this isn't just about a DNA test anymore. When Ethan denied being the father, Ava saw something in his eyes. She saw fear. Ava is starting to suspect that Ethan's answer is hiding a much bigger, much more terrifying secret. Ethan isn't just dodging child support, he is dodging a threat. Ava realizes that someone is terrified of the truth coming out. The question isn't just who the father is. The question is, what happens to all of them if the real father's identity is exposed? Ethan is running from someone from his past, and Ava is about to dig right into a hornet's nest. Everything is escalating. Brooklyn's marriage is built on a ticking time bomb of lies. Elizabeth is inches away from blowing Willow and Brennan's cover. Anna is losing her mind to a ghost while holding the key to Cassius Faison's legacy. Carly is going to war with Lulu over a man she shouldn't love. And Ava is about to unlock a secret that could get them all killed. But wait. The real danger hasn't even shown its face yet. Because someone is watching from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when they do, a fan favorite is going to be caught right in the crossfire.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.